Did wrestling happen this week?
Technically, I don't know. Wrestling happens every week, but I still maintain it's like the world's weirdest, like, high school play at this point, where it's just, there's a lot of, like, there's a set piece behind it. It's like a stage show, maybe not a high school play. Well, in terms of attendance, a high school play. But like, it's all facing, like, the hard cam, and, like, there's a scene background, and, like, it's just, without the participation and interaction that I feel is such an integral part of wrestling. Like, that's why you go to, like, the real diehard indie shows. That's why you go to PWG. That's why, like, you go to a New Japan show for the people that are just, like, there, bring the energy. And, like, without that, at least for WWE, it's weird. It's weird.
I, for one, am there for, like, now that we don't have, like, in a high school play, just all of the Karen moms calling out, "That's my little Timmy! It's my little Timmy in there! Sethy! Sethy, baby! You're my Messiah!"
So, welcome to Fight Boys. It's a weekly podcast about professional and not so professional wrestling. I am the good bad boy of podcasting, the Dylan.
And I am absolutely terrified, Blake Tanner. Scottye's not here with us this week. We're going off the rails. We're going inside, outside, upside down. Who knows what the fuck is gonna happen, because we might not even end up talking about wrestling.
I want you to know I really did hold back the urge to say that I was Scottye. just go full tilt.
We could have just completely pretended that you were Scottye for this whole recording. Never mentioned it at all.
Never brought it up. That would have been the April 1st episode.
If only.
So wrestling did happen this week. Wrestling is not going to continue to happen for some people. Drew Gulak, he didn't really get released. His contract
expired.
Kind of fell out. Expired.
Did they just? I guess he just didn't renegotiate, or did he try to ask for more and they just never?
He tried to ask for more money.
Oh.
Because he was cruiserweight champion. He's doing shit with Daniel Bryan. They were like, no. Then they rescinded their original offer because he asked for more money, and then he just kind of left. Because like now that. Yeah, well, no, everybody's like, well, with the like COVID thing, but like Meltzer even confirmed WWE is supposed to make the most money they ever had this quarter, even without live shows or this year.
It's a dick move that they just took their original offer away to be petty.
Yeah, no, it works the whole way. But I mean, that does mean that maybe, no, because Cody fucking hates Gulak for some bullshit reason, because Cody.
Yeah, it feels like.
God, Cody ruins so many things that Cody is in while still being kind of likable. It's horrible. It's like having that friend that you like to be around, but whenever people tell you about shitty things they did, you're like, yeah, that sounds right.
I feel like it's a lot of ways. It's like if you were ever friends with CM Punk, where you know that you're just in for the ride until he decides to burn that bridge, and it's gonna happen.
Yeah, I don't know. I'd like to see a reforming of the Best Friends with, like, Trent as Swamp Monster. Just hear Chuck Taylor come out and talk about Drew Gulak. He's the Regal Eagle, the Legal Beagle, the Game Changer, the Trailblazer, the King of Bingo, the ukulele picking wild card.
Do you think...
It's still my favorite Chikara promo.
Although I could see, maybe, the businessman Cody... Or, honestly, if Tony Khan just went up and was like, let's fucking get him, dude. He's such a fan of wrestling that I could see Tony being like, yeah, let's get him.
I mean, Gulak is such a good wrestler, and he's such a... They're talking about, like, Dustin wants, like, a school, and, like, he wants to, like, help young wrestlers. I mean, God knows in the past fucking 2 months, they brought in so many people that aren't signed that it's just like, hey, maybe we can help these kids. And, like, Gulak is such a... fucking technician, like catch kind of a wrestling that
I feel like it's honestly probably just been 2 months of tryouts for all of these guys. Like, I can't wait to see who we actually get in AEW after this.
There's one guy, Alan Angels, because I've been watching, and they're letting him get a lot of shit in. He had like a competitive match with Phoenix. He had a competitive match with Sammy this last week.
I need to start watching.
It's been really good.
Yeah.
Dude, you got to go back and watch Dark. It's like 3 hours worth now, but you get a lot of good stuff. Like fucking Kip Sabian and Jimmy Havoc, since they're roommates. I guess they were like, you want to just form a tag team? We already like each other. And freaking Kip Sabian's chirping from the outside of the ring. And it's clear as day, too. Even Taz is like, does he have a mic down there? I can hear him clear as day.
And that's the match that you sent to us that we needed to watch earlier today, right?
Yeah. Well, no, because, let me tell you how great it is. At one point, like, they have the other guy in the corner. Havoc holds, like, his 2 fingers out, like, in front of the guy, and Sabian fucking insuguris him from the back, so he goes into his eyes, so it's an eye poke, and then Sabian's there like, that was completely legal. That was a completely legal wrestling move.
He fell into my hands. I don't know what happened.
Yeah, Havoc was just like, I didn't do anything. I just stood here. Even Taz agreed with him. It was like, technically, that was legal.
Now... next time they just do it with a staple gun.
Yeah, there you go.
Fuck me, what else happened? Because that's one thing that I remember. I mean...
Oh, there's like, the nonsensical Sami Zayn heat.
Oh, yeah, where, like, last week, he was stripped of the title because he's not showing up because WWE has finally decided that that's something that they care about again, as long as you're not Brock Lesnar.
Or Roman Reigns.
Roman Reigns, who is...
Roman Reigns is taking all the time he wants for his kids, but, like, Sami Zayn wants to do it for his own health. Fuck that guy.
Yeah, it's like, you don't want to work? That's such a Vince mentality, too, because he's got, like, heat with, the corporate people, right?
I don't even know anymore.
Like it just feels... Once again, it feels really petty, because it's like, it boils down to that hard worker mentality that just burns people out, that, like, 99% of people just can't do day in and day out, the perfection that they expect.
I don't know. He was just getting some stuff, too. I mean, I guess when he comes back, they'll have him lose, but they can have him challenge for it and just be like, I challenge because I'm the real IC. So that'll be like a good pay-per-view match, hopefully, depending on who wins it. I forget who... I can't remember... Yeah, can't believe I forgot the bracket, but it's... From what I remember, it's like, okay, so it's not going to be Shinsuke. So who else?
Yep.
Who else do we have to choose? Not going to be Gulak. Probably Daniel. It'll probably be Daniel Bryan.
Which is...
He's in this, right? Yeah, they're probably just going to give it back to him. Yeah.
I mean, really, though, it'd be pretty great, but, I mean... And Gulak was in the tournament?
Yeah, he was the one that, it was him against, Debray. Yeah, he was in the tournament, and then that was his last showing.
Okay, shit, fuck me. This has been so... These last 2 months have been wild. Like,
Oh no, it's been like weird. It's been weird times. It's been dark times.
It's hard to keep up, honestly, with most of it. So Sammy is in the doghouse indefinitely. Roman is the doghouse. Who has a great new tattoo though.
Yeah, he was like, what can I do with this arm? Dude. I looked at that and my first thought was, holy shit, you did your spine? Like, just that side of it.
Yeah, because the area, like, right next to the spine is really sensitive, isn't it?
I believe so. I don't have my chart. I might be completely wrong. I remember at one point I had a copied chart, because I was thinking about, like, maybe I would. It was like, where should we not get it? Oh, those places. Absolutely. Actually, it's more the fact that he got it on his side, because, like, your ribs right there and, like, under the armpit, like, holy shit, that is the rough times.
Like, damn. And it goes all around now. Like, he's...
Yeah.
And they're not...
Which is such a waste.
Yeah.
He wrestles with a vest on.
I know, I was just about to say that. Like, he's gotten all of this great shit on it, like... And I bet it would look fucking great in the ring, too. Like, just to see him in his tattoo spearing motherfuckers. But they're not gonna let him wrestle without the vest, because they just can't let go of the vest.
It's like his John Cena jorts.
Yeah, he'll wear them until he's in that match with Bray Wyatt, and he has to relive all of his past selves, which is just gonna be him next to a bunch of mirrors.
Just him in 2 different vests and his Lika Key costume from FCW.
Oh, I forgot about that.
I remember that happened. Oh yeah, dude. Oh yeah, you ever see those old pictures where like all 3 members of the Shield, like in their FCW, they had like a posed, like I forget, like I think it was a motorcycle, and it just looks like a really bad 3-man boy band like picture if you just put it all together.
We're a 3-man band.
Yeah.
Mox, Black, Leaky, or however it's pronounced.
Dude, I don't even know. Like I said, dark times. Speaking of which, Dark Side of the Ring decided like, hey, listen, we're going to kind of valley this out. We're going to start really dark with Benoit, then we're going to kind of like up and down a little bit. New Jack, maybe like not as intense. And then we're going to ramp it all the fucking way back up and talk about Owen Hart dying and just like even the bits I've seen. Cause like,
yeah,
I'm not emotionally ready to watch that whole thing because that was one of those things I found out years into wrestling. Where it was like, yeah, he died at this show. And I was like, and then what happened? Then they had the show.
God.
You can do that? Isn't that a crime scene?
And the weirdest thing is, like, the police just let him do it. They didn't consider it a crime scene. Like, they just said, fucking there was, and there are so many different interview series that have gone and, like, talked to the guys that were in the show and how all of them said, we should not have done this show. Like, there was even a point where Taker and Austin had a match, and just seeing Taker in the ring, the man who is known for keeping his character in every situation, and just the, like, dead, like, sadness in his eyes during that match, like, after his entrance.
At one point, they showed, and it just looks like he just stares at like for like a couple of seconds at the point like where Owen impacted. Like, that had to be going through his mind, and that's messed up. Like, whenever that happened, I was like, that's right, Vince McMahon should be in fucking prison. That's right. Like, you forget about it.
For more than this too. Like, this is just one of the things.
Let's go through it. There's the steroid trial, which he lucked out on. Hulk Hogan, Cunt Hogan, really sold everyone else up a river by changing his story. There was that. There was the Jimmy Snuka death.
Yeah.
Where he covered that up. Let's see here. What else did he do? He interviewed Brian Pillman's wife the day after Brian Pillman died. You remember that one?
No.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah. After Brian Pillman died, on like the next Raw, live on Raw, he interviewed his wife.
Jesus.
Yeah, it's uncomfortable as fuck to watch. What else? What other terrible things has Vince McMahon?
Blood money from a totalitarian regime that murdered an American citizen. There's that.
Yeah, there's that. There's the Saudi shows. Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, there's just so many things you're just looking at and it's like, man, anybody who's like, yeah, Vince McMahon, no. Over time, it just wears away. The people wear away on these enjoyable characters.
Yeah. And speaking of, like, talking about Hogan selling everyone else down the river during the steroids, Meltzer had something on World of Wrestling earlier this week, and I think it was, he was talking about, it was Ellie, Natalia's mother, and Jim Neidhart's wife. She, like, apparently the Harts were split on if they should, on how much they should ask Vince for the settlement, or if they should even take it to trial, to get a settlement from him. And I think it was, Jim and Davey were both on the side of WWE because Vince hired them, like, right before any of the trial stuff was gonna happen, so they were on his payroll. And the rest of...
Once again.
Right, exactly. And so the Martha Hart's lawyers were trying to, like, bring the whole family together to get a consensus so there wouldn't be any infighting or anything. And so Ellie Neidhart takes the facts of this agreement that they're working on and sends it to Vince McMahon. And it's like the legality of even doing that is questionable, probably illegal, don't know, but it just them knowing about it almost completely destroyed the case.
Yeah, no, that was whenever they're like, Owen Hart should she should let it, I'm like, nah, man. When it first started, I was like, yeah, that's, God, what a bitch. And then you hear about these things. I think more about it's come out over the last few years. The consensus has changed. I've changed my tune, I know, based on more information. And you're like, nah, dude, you keep that. He can fuck himself. They're right, though. There is no physical Hall of Fame, for the WWE. You can't go anywhere. There's an actual, is it the Luthez Hall of Fame for, wrestling? There's, an actual physical one somewhere. And, he got inducted there, and they showed the pictures and a video of it, and she looks fucking elated that he's getting recognized there and that people are happy. She just is I'm not going to let the people that killed my husband or whose negligence killed my husband make any money off of it, and the kids either. The kids are both
and she has every right to fucking do so, by the way.
Oh yeah, and the kids also are completely there. So I was like, it's gonna be another 50, 60 years before they got a chance. Vince McMahon will be long dead by then. That's the other thing, though, is I know once Vince dies, then probably Steffi and Hunter will try to do it. Oh yeah, you know they're not gonna let this go. They know they know the money.
Exactly. You got to follow the money. One last thing is there was a fucking bit that it made me uncomfortable in a different way, I think, and that's because it was Jim Cornette was being interviewed and he just completely broke down.
Yeah.
He let down all of
whenever you whenever you sorry, you were saying he let the guard down. Whenever Jim Cornette the person separates from Jim Cornette the character, and you remember that Jim Cornette the person is a person.
Yeah. He becomes real personable, and it was a sight, and it just really hit home just how much Owen's death impacted the business. But on the other hand, speaking of Jim Cornette the character, he had some bullshit to say about Becky Lynch getting pregnant.
I purposely didn't read it because I knew it would come up. I'm gonna guess. Did he say that it was a terrible idea because she's hot right now, as a character in a storyline?
Pretty much exactly that.
Yes, guessed it.
I'm gonna.
All these years in Indiana makes me understand the man from Kentucky.
You're just neighbors. Here's what he said. And I'm sorry that Scottye can't be here to do his great cornet. You can't always be on top of the wrestling business in a $1 million a year spot or more. But you can have a baby. What is she? Can't she be 30? She's 33. Well, she's still got many more years before the fucking Easy Bake Oven gets shut off. She can have all those problems like a descended stomach and stretch marks and hemorrhoids and hormone problems and mood swings and all the other joys of motherhood later when she ain't making $1 million a year. He's just
it happened over a week ago. The announcement was, but I remember my first thing after that I was like, good for her. But it's what if her kid gets Seth's laugh? Just imagining a little 4 or 5 and Becky being like, you stop that right now. Smacks him. Oh, dude, what if he has fucking Rollins' hair, actual hair, but in Becky's colors? I'm just thinking of all the ways these shapes can morph together to form a future wrestler. I hope it's a boy. Have you ever noticed that all wrestlers have girls?
They really do, because of just off the top of my head, Brian, and Brie, Triple H, and Stephanie, The Rock. He's only had girls, right?
Yeah.
So
Triple H, it's the steroids. I don't know about Brie and B-Bri, but yeah.
Is there?
No. A lot of Japanese wrestlers have like sons, but
it's the culture.
There's not
it's
as
the
many
culture.
steroids. There's less steroids. But yeah, every time I hear about it, like one of the Jacksons has a son.
Okay. See,
so
they're just breaking trends, man. That's it. Young bucks.
They're breaking trends. That's killing the business. Jinx, you owe me a Coke.
Also, Seth responded to what Cornette said, and he said, "This hurt my feelings on a personal level."
Yeah, because because as Tyler Black, he was one of Cornette's like poster boys whenever Cornette ran Ring of Honor.
Yeah, absolutely.
And Cornette even talked about how he got Seth to WWE because Seth was calling him. He's like, I got a contract from Impact. I got a contract potentially, or like, I haven't heard from WWE. Should I sign the contract from Impact? And he's like, don't do that. Wait for WWE. And so like, clearly someone Seth Rollins like looks up to, and then just slaps your fiance in the face.
Like that. Like, fuck. The Easy Bake Oven, man.
I know, you said that. That was an audible ooh.
Oh.
Ugh. God. You know what oven isn't closed? Being a patron.
Patreon.com.
Patreon.com/a-load of BS. Yes.
That's it. Our Easy Bake Oven is always open to you lovely, lovely subscribers, and that thing will never close down. We're going to keep turning out strangely underbaked
ideas and programs like like where Scottye and Blake watch terrible movies. I sat in on one of it. It broke me. They haven't even invited me back. They feel that bad.
We wanted to invite you back for the one a couple months ago, but it just never happened, and you're lucky for that shit. It was so bad.
Dodging bullets left and right. We're continuing Wrestling History X. We're working on it.
I need to work on, because I've barely done anything on it. And
there's a pandemic. We're gonna give you a pass.
Good. I got one pass. That's all I need.
Yeah, there we go.
And you could, if you just enjoy what we do, and you want to keep seeing that go on, just think about supporting us on the Patreon. Or if you want some material shit, go to merch.loadedpurebs.com. That's where you can buy shirts for all of the BS Network shows, including this one, including the JWF, which is the other wrestling-related podcast that we do, used to be part of this one. You can find it for a load of BS, opposite attractions, all the fantastic stuff. There's shirts, there's posters, and there's cups. Like the insulated wine glass that we have called the BS Boozy Sippy Cup.
Official trademark.
TM. And that's it for the plugs.
Okay. So, this Saturday, which may be the day this comes out, All Elite Wrestling is holding Double or Nothing. By the way, they are they are selling shirts that say, I watched it from home. Instead of I was there. Because they have that, because even when we were at Double or Nothing, it was like, I was there. I was like, I feel like people will believe you if you just tell them. I don't feel like you need the shirt.
No, because it's like, although I will say, I'm honestly a little heartbroken that we are not going to be able to make it, and that no one's going to be able to make it, but we're going to watch that shit.
Yeah, you are. My unemployment hasn't hit yet. I ain't got $50.
Ah, that's fair. Scottye and I'll pitch in. We'll get it for you.
True brothers. Good brothers. Oh, that's another thing we didn't bring up. Saw that other segment. Luke Gallows is the current king of wrestling Instagram. I'm sorry, Sex Ferguson is the current king of...
Ferguson, baby!
Buddy! Yeah. Freaking Blue Chew posts where he puts a cup in his tits. Get your boner. Go. Yeah, just holy shit.
God, that fucking boner commercial broke me. Blue Chew.
They have the countdown to, Carl and the big LG. I guess the big DG now. He's back to Doc Gallows. They got the countdown to when their 90 days is up and they can go and do their tell-all.
And they're gonna.
I'm gonna listen to that the day it comes out. You have no idea.
Oh man,
I'm gonna skip school.
You know what? I'm gonna bunk off work. Just gonna do that.
Alright, so let me double check. We'll start with this one, even though it's down the card, just because then I can close it because there's 8 participants. So yes, AEW's Double or Nothing is happening due to the Rona shutting down a lot of people from being able to get to the shows. It is a somewhat rushed card compared to the other AEW pay-per-views, because the AEW there's only like 4 or 5. Depends on if they probably don't get to do Fyter Fest. No, Fyter Fest is canceled this year. So I get to miss out on 2. 3, Fight for the Fallen probably won't happen either.
Damn, it's gonna be rough for pay-per-views.
It's just kicking me. This virus has kicked me right in the dick. But
like a well-placed...
I'm right there. It's 3 hours. You have any idea how heartbreaking it is? It's like being Tiny Tim looking in through the glass.
He's like, please, sir, can I have some wrestling?
No. That's Oliver Twist. Tiny Tim is the one.
I know. He's God bless us, everyone.
Anyway, on to Double or Nothing. The card, the somewhat rushed card, but still interesting. First up, we have the Casino Ladder Match for a number 1 contendership for the AEW Championship. Sorry, World Championship. It's not a sidebar.
Yeah.
How do you feel about things being called World Championships if they haven't been defended outside of the United States? Oh wait, no. Jericho defended it. Nope, he didn't defend it at New Japan. Never mind. Yeah, so it hasn't.
Yeah,
hasn't been defended outside.
It's not a World Championship until it is. It's not. That's just the way it is.
It's like the NXT Championship. They don't call it the NXT World Championship.
No, because it hadn't been defended around the world. You got to take that bad boy around the world. Anyway, sorry.
Got to take it on the road. Anyway, it's Darby Allin versus Colt Cabana versus Orange Cassidy versus Rey Fenix versus Scorpio Sky versus Kip Sabian versus Frankie Kazarian versus Luchasaurus versus a to-be-announced competitor.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay, that's what that meant.
Yeah. They haven't announced that last one, and I'm just like, this is probably who it is. It possibly, I don't know what the restrictions on the UK are for travel. Otherwise, I would say it's Pac.
Yeah, because if he can make it, he would be a great choice.
Yeah, or whoever. Just anytime there's like a mystery, I always feel like they have the up. If I wasn't choosing that, I'd choose Phoenix, just because they're making Phoenix look like a boss lately.
Yeah.
But I'm just like, I don't know who that last person is, so I'm going to bet on them because mathematically they have the greatest number of possibilities.
Now, Scottye has taken Darby in his. So do we want to do our normal, like, large multi-man match rules and each of us pick a different competitor? Because then I'll take Phoenix.
I would. Yeah, okay, after I hyped him up, that's fair. You're probably going to win this one. I should stop helping you. You're already winning.
I am. Sometimes it's...
Watch it be Colt Cabana. That'll be even better.
Let's just wait until Japan. I'm glad that it's... just the casino match is back. Because I think that what you need is just a good multi-man ladder match. I'm glad it's not like a buy-in battle royal or anything like it was last year. I think it kind of missed the mark a little bit.
Yeah.
So I'm excited.
Yes. I'm just going to go in random order. Speaking of the buy-in, Private Party takes on the Best Friends. Even though the Best Friends are currently in the number 1 ranking for the tag team division, they're on the fucking pre-show.
Whip the pre-show.
By the way, I talked about AEW Dark being great. Last week, Orange Cassidy had a match, and the Best Friends came out and held up his, beach towels on either side of him, like fucking banners during his entrance.
That's really...
they're trying they're doing so much. They're trying so hard. God bless them. They're the best.
Yeah, they're so fucking good at, one, just being ridiculous, and yet being such a good tag team, too.
Yeah.
They hit all of my fucking buttons, and Orange Cassidy with them is icing on the cake.
Yeah, I understand why they put Orange Cassidy in the ladder match, but I would feel more invested if either of, like, Chuck or Trent were in it. I'd be like, yeah, dude, you let, like, Trent versus Mox? Like, I would sign up for that, like, immediately.
I'd already be there.
Yeah.
So we've all picked the best friends.
Yeah, we've all picked the best friends. Also, speaking of John Moxley versus Mr. Brody Lee, we all picked Moxley. We're potentially wrong on that. I actually feel like Brody stands the best chance, since this is like his like third match, and he's been built as a monster.
Yeah, like so far,
I feel like there's gonna be interference, and like somebody's gonna be revealed to be like another person. Like, I feel like there's gonna be shenanigans. There's gonna be heavy shenanigans.
Yeah, it feels.
But I don't know if you like.
Yeah, it just like it feels like the field is rife for fuckery in this one. Although, like you said, he's been built up so well that Brody might just kill Mox.
He might, or Mox might. It might be one of those situations where Mox like crafties his way out of it,
and it could,
like surprise small package, or like out of nowhere, freaking paradigm shift, like something like that.
Either way, it's going to be a great match.
Oh yeah, no, that's going to deliver. I hope Brody has better gear. That's my only real hope. Wrestle in the suit. I'd rather you did that.
That would be really fucking
full jacket
great.
And everything. It would.
Yeah.
Let's see here. Another potential pre-show match, or like, I'm surprised that's not the pre-show match, is Dustin Rhodes, the American Nightmare, versus Sean Spears. This is one of like 3 matches that we're divided on. You and I both have Dustin. Scottye has gone with Sean Spears. Which I can see, because I'm pretty sure Scottye's on this mentality that this is where like that group thing's gonna happen, FTR potentially.
Yeah, this could be, how they debut, especially because...
No, they'd probably wait till Wednesday.
Okay. But it's, once again, might be some fuckery in that. But I just want to see Dustin win. And it's, I don't know. I just wanted to see him win. This is just like my shot in the dark pick.
Yeah, I don't. Spears isn't up to that. They can build Rhodes up so that he can get demolished again to make somebody else. But Sean Spears isn't that person in my mind. Yeah,
no, I don't see how much further we can get with him right now.
Yeah, I'm really sorry he didn't get to do that. That like find the perfect tag team partner. I'm really upset that never reached a conclusion.
Yeah,
or maybe it will here. I don't know.
True.
True. MJF is taking on Jungle Boy after giving like a monster promo on Wednesday. MJF.
Yeah, I think
you.
I mean, I think he already won with that promo. Is the problem? I don't know how much coming back there is for old Jungle Boy. Said, although he's I'm looking forward to the match. But it's hard to go up against just this mountain of promo that is MJF for anybody.
Yeah, no, I can feel. You can really tell with that promo that had this whole thing not happened, it definitely would be MJF versus Mox, which is also part of the reason why I think Mox is gonna keep it, because I think MJF is like in their minds like, okay, that's the heel we go back to. Like we've gotten like they're becoming like making people like younger. They're like, we need Jericho at the beginning. Jericho is like, well, no, we can do Mox now. People know him. He's younger. It's like, now we can have our guy that we,
yeah, exactly. Like they're building up, like masterfully as well. But you can see there's kind of a build there because they haven't had one of like their guys yet. Like Jericho's fucking Jericho. Mox is, he's Dean Ambrose, man. Like that's where people know him from, unless you are just like one of those lovers of death matches, which he brings in spades. But What the fuck were we talking about? MJF. We're all MJF.
Yeah, no. Alright, so moving on to the women's division for a moment. First up, we have Bitch Baker versus Chris Statlander. I didn't come up with that name. The internet wrestling community did.
And we all know how they feel about women.
Yeah. So Blake and I are together with Statlander. Scotty chose Britt Baker. I believe she might be out for the match, though. They haven't announced that. But they haven't announced it, so his pick of Britt, if she does compete, is valid. However, if there is somebody else, we will allow him to take that person if they beat Chris Statlander.
Yes, you are kinder than me. I would have just forced him to take the other person.
Yeah.
I just want to see Statlander win. This is all my fucking picks are this time around.
Yeah. So, and moving on from that to the women's championship match, Nyla Rose takes on Shida. You guys have Nyla Rose. I have Shida because I believe in the power of, like, God and anime.
I got the power of God and anime on my side.
I mean, Shida is a cosplayer. Like, she cosplays very frequently, so I was like, I mean, that's not that racist to say. That's more of a, like, I'm making fun of a nerd than I'm being racist.
Yeah.
But it's like if you said that for Xavier Woods, you'd be like, no, you're right.
Oh, exactly. They do have the same interests. I would say that about, those two equally with, like, Kenny. Because it's like, fucking, I love the nerds in wrestling. They're one of the things that make wrestling worth watching. And I've seen a bunch of Shida's cosplay, so although this is your fucking hill pick for this one. I mean, I think that Shida has a chance. Like, it was a tough decision, but I just don't think that they're gonna take it off of Nyla yet.
Yeah, see, the thing is, I don't see them needing to have, like, a monster heel in Nyla, because, like, okay, cool.
Yeah.
She beats Shida. Who takes the belt off of her then? There's literally nobody. She already beat Statlander, who I thought was the person. Mm-hmm. She beat the original title holder. There's not really another, like, well-known face at the moment. Like, they're building people up, but, like, that's not how it's going. So I feel like Shida would be a good one, because Shida you can see taking on, like, anybody, heel, face, like, you know, she has that kind of, good sportsmanship. Like, she beat somebody on Dark this week, shook her hand afterwards. Like, I feel like that can work as they try to make the women's division better, since that is the weakest part of AEW.
True, because they, I guess on the flip side, the only other way that they do it is, like, if they had Rose just have a long title reign, which would probably be more detrimental. So I could definitely see where you're coming from there. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And finally, the big granddaddy match in place of ever getting freaking, was it Blood and Guts? I almost said Blood and Thunder.
Now that's a pay-per-view
no.
name.
That's a pay-per-view name. Blizzard would sue the shit out of you. It is the Inner Circle versus the Delete Elite. The Delete, but it's the Elite with a D at the front of it. I don't know. Matt Hardy's teaming up with the Bucks and the tag team champions.
Yeah. And
thus proving even more that Cody's not a part of the Elite.
Nope. He's just left them. He's left them all to do his own damn thing. The bastard.
Yeah.
Actually, I'm fine.
You gonna go Inner Circle on this?
I think I'm taking Inner Circle on this. Like,
That's fine.
Yeah. Because the more I think about it, the Inner Circle, this has been the storyline of see the Inner Circle and how fucking good of a team they are as a unit, and see the Elite and how they're breaking down.
I think that's the point of it, is that, like, the Inner Circle has been such, like, a dominant, like, shithead force that this is, like, their comeuppance match. Like, the Elite like takes them down a peg. That's why I went with the Elite. And then after that, there can be the dissension of like maybe Paige chooses that moment to like turn on them or something.
That's a good point, actually. No, I'm gonna stay with the Elite.
Watch the Inner Circle win, and I'll just be like, yes, I got him to not get farther ahead of me.
You know, sometimes, like, you could just use your advice to just lie to me. Like, half the time I'm just running on autopilot during these predictions anyway, so it's like, you could just tell me to pick a carrot, and I pick the carrot to win.
Honestly, at this point, I take half credit for your win last year. Because towards the second half here, I had my weird prediction, and I was like, okay, the safer prediction's probably that. I'll give that to Blake. As long as Scottye doesn't win, I don't mind losing this year.
That's true. Although I gotta get my 2 wins now.
Yeah, gotta go back to back. Go cruising with that ship.
Damn straight.
But yeah, that is Double or Nothing.
That's it.
$50 pay-per-view if you feel like that is money well spent. I don't know. I don't buy pay-per-views.
True. I mean, based off the last one we bought, it was worth it, but that was the last one we bought.
Yeah, I mean, it's a solid card. The ladder match alone. But moving on to our heels and faces, going to be a lot shorter. We don't have Scottye here to go through. Would you like to lead off with either or, sir?
Yes, I will start with my heel, because I think my babyface might be a little too hard-hitting. Because, man, fuck WWE. Like, I can't even... I just...
Dude, you're gonna have to... We're already on the 3-strike rule with WWE, man. We're not even halfway through the year.
I know.
What are we gonna do when SummerSlam comes?
When it's like, when they just start killing people in the ring. I mean,
What?
It's just so, like, it's so. I don't know why they're being so petty. Like you said earlier, they're set to make more money this year than ever. And it's like, people want to keep their jobs. And people want to stay healthy. So, if somebody wants to stay healthy, and you said that it was okay a couple months ago, then you just let them fucking be. And you maybe don't take the title off of them in 2 seconds. And you may, like, unlike you do with some people, like Brock Lesnar, I mean, the fucking double standards alone piss me off.
All they had to do was change this from an Intercontinental Championship to a #1 contenders tournament, and everybody, it would have been fine. Would have been, hey, we're setting up who faces Sami Zayn at whatever the fuck the next pay-per-view is. Backlash? Is it Backlash?
I think it is, yeah.
I mean, you can't hate them completely. They're giving Battletoad a shot at the WWE Championship.
Does it? I don't know if that makes me like them anymore.
It depends on the match. If it's like their Impact meetings where like Lashley and Drew put on like some good shit, yes. If it's overproduced because like somebody was like, "Hey, this is what you do," then it might be. It might turn into another Styles Nakamura. Not on the same level, but where I'm just like, they got this, and then like it's like, ooh, they did not have that. That was a calculated risk, and they're bad at math.
Absolutely, like it's just got me. And this is why capitalism sucks.
I support. Oh God, I forgot his name. David Starr and his socialist wrestling propaganda.
Just give me my socialist wrestling.
Everyone gets paid. There's universal insurance. There's a well-run union.
Mm-hmm. Any of these.
Everyone has mustaches as good as David Starr. Okay, that last one might be unrealistic, but
we can try. We can try, comrades.
So, despite all of my hype for Double or Nothing. My heel of the week is unfortunately AEW driven, and it is the unfortunate number of injuries that are happening on AEW, some of which might not are like, accidental. Phoenix had a move from the top this week, a springboard move, where like nobody caught him. But if you watch, you can see that he looks when he goes up for it. They move for where they think his trajectory is going to be, and then he goes straight up and down. So unless they all just dove forward, like I don't think they were really going to get it.
Yeah, like it would have been hard for them to move into that position, and so it's like.
Yeah, because they were like, this is Ray Phoenix. We need to. It's like when you have to go way back in baseball. It's like we gotta play the wall on this one, and they just like plop it like outside, like in the middle of the field.
Yeah, it's he bunted.
Yeah, he. That's good. No, bunting is when you're like that. When you're like Billy Kidman and you do a shooting star press and end up on the turnbuckle.
That's fucking, yep. That's true.
That's a bunt that goes out of bounds. Sorry.
It just rolls right over the line.
Just you're like, foul, damn it. There was that. The thing that might have fucked up Britt Baker's leg was Sheeta and Statlander did a cooperative fireman's carry to like throw Nyla into the corner onto Britt. Unfortunately, they went too far to the left, and so she came down on Britt's leg instead of Britt's like center mass.
Mm-hmm. And like I saw that, and it looked rough.
Nyla's a big girl. Nyla's like built. She is built. So that might have messed her up. Which like I don't like Britt Baker. Well documented.
Yes.
But I don't want her to get injured. Like, that's not... No one deserves that. No one deserves to have their career and their livelihoods potentially put in jeopardy due to unfortunate events.
Yeah, absolutely. Like,
it is debatable if they should have done that move.
Yeah, like nobody deserves to have like an injury wished upon them. But it just sucks when anybody gets injured.
Yeah. The ones I want to talk about more though are, despite the fact that AEW over the last 2 months has given dozens? Is it in the dozens? At least 15 different indie workers, multiple matches. There's one dude, Lee Jordan, who is 0-8, rapidly approaching Peter Avalon numbers for the worst wrestler in AEW.
Jesus Christ. But you know what?
I want there to be a 3-way match now. It's Lee Johnson versus Peter Avalon versus Cutler, who is the worst wrestler in AEW. It's a double. It's an elimination. It's a tornado. It's a triangle match. So like okay, this person is eliminated, and then they're the worst.
Yep. This battle
but then you gotta find out who's the best of the worst.
The best of the worst.
It's instead of being eliminated, once you win, then you're out. You won. You have the win, and then it's between the other two people because they'll be more desperate.
Absolutely, they don't want to be the worst.
Yeah, nobody wants to be the worst. But yeah, you have all these different opportunities. Unfortunately, this led this last week to two rather severe injuries. Was it Jason Cade, who has appeared in some backstage segments with like Leva Bates and like wrestled a thing before. He broke Marco Stunt's nose.
Oh, shit.
Like, Marco Stunt, I don't know if it was a miscommunication. I don't know who messed it up. But Marco was going for, like, a knife-edge chop. But it was the same moment that Jason Cade went for a forearm. And he, like the most strong-style Kings Road... fucking just and full in the face. They showed it on replay a lot, like, oh man.
Oh,
like,
shit.
But he looked pissed off the whole match. He finally won. He also hit a razor's edge. That happened as well.
But man, that's...
things you never expected. He was not moving. Afterwards, he was on the apron looking up, and they were like checking on him. They were like, we will give you updates. No one gave me any updates. But he fought MJF yesterday. So... he recovered, I guess.
Yeah, alright. That's good that it wasn't serious, but I mean, in a situation like that, it easily could have been. Like, if his face was broken, then shit.
Yeah. Yeah. The other one was, I talked about how much I loved the Havoc and Sabian match. Unfortunately, during that match, Musa, another one of the people, another one, like, again, really being shown off. He does a backup so that Sabian ends up on the outside. He then does a back elbow that catches him square in the side of, the orbital and temple area, and Kip just goes down. And he stays in the same position. Lee Jordan does, a baseball slide onto him, no reaction. Fucking no-sells it, because he's there with, Penelope looking at him. Havoc wins the match, single-handedly at that point. And, then he comes over, Sabian didn't even celebrate. The last shot you see of him is he's just, on his back, staring at the lights.
Oh.
And, so this is, unfortunately, a thing where it's hey, the good with the bad. The good is you're giving these people the opportunity. A bad is, some of these matches are, not the safest. I don't know. Sorry.
Yeah.
I don't know who it's on, but it's not the best. It's not the best look right before a pay-per-view. I guess that's what it is. I don't, wrestling happens, people get injured. We've seen it in fucking Neville broke his leg on a baseball slide. Things happen in a wrestling match. It is a risk.
Yeah, there's an inherent risk in this business, but some of this stuff sounds like it's, and it might just be, like you said, because of miscommunications, or it might just be a simple missed cue, but to have that much sloppiness come up right before a big show is real tough to get past. Oof. And like you said, tons of new people in, so they haven't built up, they might not have built up as much camaraderie, maybe, time in the ring to build up their chemistry, and it's just, that's something you gotta get used to, and it might not be the best place to do it on a weekly show, but on the other hand, it's a good thing that they're getting paid.
Yeah. And again, Sabian showed up for the big brawl for the ladder match, so he's clearly, he's doing better. He didn't wrestle this week, so that might have been part of the reason why. Though if he doesn't show up, they should just put Havoc in, have Havoc show no real interest in climbing the ladder for most of the match. He's just there to beat the shit out of people.
I would like that. That sounds like something Havoc would do.
Yeah.
All right.
Just they have it up, he pushes it over.
He tries to keep the ladder down. That's his goal. So we want to get into baby faces. Dylan, I know you talked for a while. Would you like me to go first with the baby faces?
Here, I'll try to go first and keep it succinct.
Okay.
And then you can go longer on yours.
Okay.
Surprise, surprise. My favorite women's wrestler won the Raw Women's Championship. It was in a briefcase that she had already previously won.
Yes.
I don't know how you do that. But
it's Becky Lynch with Santa Claus, basically.
It was. And she looked so happy for Becky, too.
Yeah.
Because Asuka is a mom, I found out.
Yeah, she is. Mom, streamer.
Yeah.
All those things.
Owns a hair salon in Japan. Yeah, no, it's the weirdest thing. But this week, with her and Kairi's celebration ceremony, that was great. Where Kairi was playing the recorder and Asuka was like, "This is terrible, but you're my bestie." And then when Nyla beat up Kairi, Asuka didn't get punked. Nia pushed past Asuka, and Asuka grabbed her by her hair, the back of her hair, pulled her down, and just roundhouse kicked her in the side of the head, and then yelled at her in Japanese. It's so refreshing to see a babyface champion, a tweener champion that doesn't take shit, doesn't look stupid.
Yeah, especially someone like Asuka, who we just know can just bring it in the ring. She's so fucking smooth. I mean, I think it was, there was this match that I saw posted on Reddit, and I'd completely forgotten about it, where she beats Dana Brooke in 6 seconds because she flips her into an armbar, I think.
Yep.
And it's just boom. It was one motion. It was so quick, if you blinked, you would have missed it because they were already on the ground. Like, Asuka is so fucking good at wrestling, and I want to see more of it because she's fantastic. There's a reason we loved her so much and still love her. Like, want to see her in the ring.
I'm also happy because with this, despite the fact she didn't cash in, but she still technically won Money in the Bank and the Raw Women's Championship in 24 hours. She's accomplished literally everything. Because she also had this mixed match challenge win with Awesome whenever she teamed up with The Miz.
Yeah.
So there was that win. And then she got, like, Wrestler of the Year for NXT. It's like, she's done everything.
Shit.
Like, so, my saltiness can now abate a little bit. The tag team one really got rid of most of it. Because I was like, oh, God, they're doing her, like, so dirty with this. Like, she showed she can really do this. And then she reinvented herself, kind of, with Kairi. And it's like, this is great. This is everything I wanted.
Yeah, it's like she became that monster that she was again, almost. And she's beautiful. It's like it's a beautiful transformation.
I'm still sad we didn't get crazy clown makeup Asuka. That would have been great. I was really waiting.
There's still time.
We let the Fiend on TV. What's your excuse, WWE? Like, that shit haunts nightmares.
Yeah. Oh, one day I cannot wait for the match where it's just the Fiend and then, like, clown face Asuka just, like, appears. Just, I don't know what they fucking do together. They could just stare at each other. I'd fucking pay for that.
And what's your babyface, Blake?
Alright, my babyface, as y'all know, anybody who's kept up with the news this week, especially how the biggest headline has been the tragic death of, Shad from Crime Time. And, I mean, over the last week, after a tragic, like, loss like this, and especially hearing the story how he drowned, and while the lifeguards were trying to save him and his son who were swimming, he was yelling at them to find his son, and they got his son out where he was gone by the time that they went back in to find him. And over the, like, last few days, there have been so many people, like, bringing out stories of how good of a person he was. Specifically this one where he's, an interview where he talks about how he just stopped an armed robbery by going after, like, the robber, disarming them, and putting his own, like, life on the line, just, because he's a wonderful, selfless person. And, it's funny seeing all of these stories because, after somebody passes away, or if it's under any circumstances, people talk about how much they enjoyed them or the positive things. And it just seems like everybody who knew this man wanted to say something positive and about how wonderful of a person that he was and how the world is a little less bright without him. And to know that, and to know that his last moments he spent concerned for his son's well-being, it's just, that smacks as a true human babyface to me. And I wanted to bring him up at some point in the show, but I know that it would have been hard to do it any earlier. So I just wanted to give him his just due. So, Shad Gaspard.
Yeah, especially as we were talking about with the dark side of the ring with Owen Hart's death. The thing that made Cornette break down was that Owen, during his final moments, was yelling, "Get out of the way." Like, he was trying to make sure he didn't hurt anybody, even though he had to know that, like, that was it.
Yeah.
And, like, there was such a terrible parallel of people just being good people in their final moments that is both, inspiring and heartbreaking at the same time. And I really wish, the one thing I don't like about a wrestler's death and all the stories coming out is you only hear it after they die. And there's so many great people in the industry that it would be better if they were appreciated, like, before that. Like, especially with WWE. WWE just does a terrible job. Like, nobody ever brings up Shad at all, and then he does. And they're like, here's his best accomplishments compilation. I was just like, if he had lived another 30 years, they wouldn't have done that. Like, it's just...
Yeah, they would have just let him they would just let him slip away. I mean, and it's, it really does suck, because until I'd heard about his death, like, I had barely even thought about him or Crime Time, because it's just, they just didn't get a lot of recognition after they left WWE. And it was really hard to just think about, he was such a wonderful, great person, and, like, he just wasn't, he wasn't given his just due when he was alive, and it kind of sucks.
Yeah, but it is really good to hear, because a lot of people, you see a lot of, like, indie wrestlers who we met at, cons, or when he was working, like, other shows, like, they were the ones also speaking out. Like, he didn't big league anybody. He wasn't one of those people you hear about who, like, spent some time in the WWE, thought they were better than anyone. Like, he was very, like, he was good to people, like, all around. And, like, that's just, like, it like I said, it's so inspiring and heartbreaking, like, at the same moment.
So let's keep him alive like that, is always how I choose to think of it. It's like, someone that good, let him just kind of pass that positivity on to the rest of us. Oh, okay.
God, I really wish I had known that was your baby face, because, like, we've been starting this new tradition of having a closing topic, a closing, like, open discussion.
Yeah.
And it's kind of like, is this era of WWE the worst era of WWE? And after the previous subject and how heartbreaking that is, it's just like, I mean, people are dying, that's always terrible, but, like, is the product itself? Raw's ratings are at, like, an all-time low. Like, it's dead even with SmackDown at this point. I think it lost out by a couple thousand to SmackDown. Like, NXT is at 5, like, losing terribly to AEW, and it's the older audience that's watching NXT. Like, they're not getting the demographic at all. Like,
no, absolutely. Like, it is such rough times for the product itself, like the WWE product specifically. Like, and I know you chalk a lot of it up to the fact that it doesn't have a live audience, but also just like the product itself, what they're putting out is pretty shitty.
I mean, it's not even just, like, down. It's not even just, like, the COVID era. Like, the last year, I would understand, or, like, since when was the first draft from Raw and SmackDown?
It was a couple of years
back
ago.
in 2017.
17, I think.
Like, if you want to take a 3-year period, I would accept that.
Yeah, because it has been on a downhill spiral. Like, there have been some great moments, but the product as a whole, like, overall, has declined.
Yeah. My only counter argument for that would be the new gen era of WWE before the Attitude Era in the early 90s. Just because, and granted, a lot of it's fresh in my mind. I didn't watch it at the time, but I watched a lot of it through, like, I watched old ones back when WWE would show, like, old matches from that time, but those were the good matches. So when you watch something like the OSW reviews, or, like, it'll be posted on social media somewhere, and you see how corny it was, how honestly bad it was. Like, the fact that they had to pay people or give away free tickets to get people in the door, and how many, especially at the early parts.
Yeah,
of that, like, it was.
I think that it has just something to do with, like, in the Attitude Era, the guys with attitude were given a lot of latitude, let's say, because a lot of that was.
Thanks, I hate you.
But, like, they were given so much leeway to develop their characters, and, like, I mean, you hear Austin talk about it all the time. When you get people who have some creative input, who do get a direction for their characters, but they're not, like, always big leaguing, and always trying to be the person who wins, then you get, like, the healthy mix of what was so great about the Attitude Era. Not not that there wasn't a lot of that going on during the Attitude Era, because there was. But I think the fact that there's just so little leeway in the product nowadays for WWE, it's just really hard for any individual to rise anywhere near the stardom of those earlier times. And I think that's the parallel you can draw between that the New Gen era and the one we're in right now, because it just feels like it's like there's something missing. It's like you're seeing cardboard characters all the time, and even though they're doing sometimes crazy stuff, it just doesn't feel like it's missing heart, man. It's missing the heart.
Yeah. No. Like I said, the only reason I really also argue is the dumb gimmicks. Like, Drook the Dumpster, Doink, Atom Bomb.
Was,
just some drizzling shits matches. Like, the technical wrestling of today is still good. Like, don't get me wrong, the bad is still bad, but if you're doing the worst from this and the worst from, like, the New Gen era, you would watch the worst from this more.
Very true, because the matches can still be good. Like, a lot of matches are still good. It's not like the fucking gobbledygook or Jesus.
Yeah, exactly. So that's why it's my argument, though. If you, I guess for those of you listening, if you want to comment on our Twitter, let us know what era you think is the worst era. Maybe it's the John Cena years. I know that we lost a lot of people in wrestling to like the 2008 to 2010 Super Cena years.
Yeah, like that was
lost me.
Yeah, that's true. That's another thing. Like a lot of hardcore fans stopped watching WWE during that time, and I think it was most of them speak and say that CM Punk was what brought him back. Yeah,
the pipe bomb brought a lot of people back, but then Summer of Punk was so fucked up that lost people again. And
yeah, it was just
no.
It's been a wave since then.
WWE is not known. Yeah, nah. But that is enough wrestling talk for the day. That's enough boys fighting.
I think I like that outro. I like this.
I would plug right now.
Yeah. Where can they find you? Where can they find you on the internet?
I don't really feel like anybody listening to this doesn't know where to find us.
That's true.
Plus, I don't want to rattle off Scotty's 18 things. Here, check out the rest of the BS Network. There's a lot of other very well thought out, very thoughtful podcasts.
Yes.
That are there.
Thoughtful. Yeah, let's go with thoughtful. There is
thought goes into it. It's not just clickbaity, let's yell at each other.
That's true. We do have, for example, have a new we've got a new format on A Load of BS every week where Scottye and I just go on we do our pitch, one pitch, and we just kind of go off on that and build the story from it and characters, and it's much more fun. So if you want to try to dive into A Load of BS, you can check out Opposite Attraction if you like theme parks and designing buck wild theme parks. You can check out Deviant if you want to see a sci-fi space opera, I believe, that Scottye has written and performs in, and I perform in, and there's a lot of great voice talent that goes into it. Or if you want to see, is that all our fucking podcasts? I don't remember. Sorry, Scottye, if I forgot any of them. Special thanks to Mega Ran for our theme song, Fighters, from Mega Ran. I don't think it's part of an album. I've never actually checked that out, but it was...
No, I think it was just a single he made just for Fyter Fest. Yeah.
Okay.
Still slaps.
Slaps.
We don't even get to the good part. That's the problem I have with our intro. We stop right before, Ran just starts killing it.
Yeah, but we do have the superior version of the song as our theme song. So, as we close out, don't forget to buy our merch, donate to the Patreon, whatever else the fuck it is that we do.
Let's see here. Subscribe on YouTube. Follow us on Twitter. And that means we're talking to you, insert wrestler here. Because when you're a fight boy, you're a fight boy for life.
Oh shit, we didn't do the tweet.
Dude, I don't have access to the Twitter. Do you have access to
I
his
don't
Twitter?
have access to
No.
Twitter. I forgot about that. Yeah, oh well, fuck it.